Shalom, Shalom. This is Mav by Yasha'Allah. Bonaparium. This is Mav, son of Israel, son of Ephraim. Before I get started, I give all praises and honors to my power, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Rakagadash. Shalom to the Akim, Agwath, and Abayin that be tuning this video. There's peace to the brothers, sisters, and the children that be tuning this video. Today I'm going to the fact that we eat defiled bread with the heathen. We're going to start off in this article first. Non-discussing things that the FDA allows in your food. This is by Sarah G. Miller, published July 28th, 2016. First thing, insect parts. The FDA allows few foods to contain whole insects, but insect parts. That's another story. Heads, legs, and other fragments of these little pests are more commonly allowed in foods, according to the handbook. This seems especially true of spices. Rodent poop. Consider the fact mammalian extractia, a rather polite way for the FDA to tell you there's rodent poop in your food. The icky defect comes up 15 times in the FDA handbook. Fennel seeds, ginger, and mace, a spice that's similar to nutmeg, can all contain up to an average of 3 milligrams of mammal poop per pound. For sesame seeds, the limit is a smidge higher, up to an average of 5 milligrams per pound. Mold. Mold is mentioned 33 times on its own in its FDA handbook. In some instances, a defect is listed as a combination of insects and mold, or insect damage in mold. And although the mold is sometimes only considered an aesthetic defect, meaning it offensive to the senses, it can also pose a potential threat to health if there's too much of it or certain types of it in the food. That's because certain types of mold produce compounds called mycotoxins that can make a person sick. Food where you might find this type of mold include allspice, ground red pepper, ground paprika, cocoa beans, and green coffee beans. Insect heads. Though the FDA allows only one defect in fig paste, it is notable for its specialty, insect heads. To live science, the designation raises several questions, including where is the rest of the insect, how are all the heads getting in? The handbook notes up to 13 insect heads are acceptable in every 100 grams of fig paste. The head may enter at any point before the figs are harvested, after the figs harvested, or during processing. Mites. If you want to avoid these tiny arachnids that are related to ticks, staying away from mushrooms just might be the way to go. That's because mushrooms have the honor of possibly containing the most mites, with up to an average of 75 mites allowed per 100 grams of canned or dried mushrooms. Frozen broccoli isn't so far behind, with up to an average of 60 mites allowed per 100 grams. Maggots. Maggots are allowed in slew of tomato products, including canned tomato, up to 1 maggot per 500 grams, and tomato juice and tomato paste up to 1 maggot per 100 grams both. Rodent hair. Just like insect fragments, rodent hair are commonly allowed in spices, allspice, paprika, cinnamon, curry powder, and marjoram can all contain a little rodent hair here and there. Pits. Pits are one of the few defects that are not just aesthetic. The hard centers of certain fruits can also cause mouth and tooth injuries. Foreign matter. The FDA defines foreign matter as objectable materials, including sticks, stones, burlap baggings, and even cigarette butts. Still, foreign matter is considered one of the aesthetic defect. Some foreign matter is allowed in mace, a spice similar to nutmeg, whole black of white pepper, and sesame seeds. So after reading that article, we see that there's a lot of stuff in our food that people should not be eating or would not want to eat. There's a book, Ezekiel 4:11, and it reads, "Thou shalt drink Also water by a measure, the sixth part of hin, from time to time thou shalt drink. And thou shalt eat as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man in sight. This is the Lord telling Ezekiel how he could eat, telling him what to eat at this time. And how Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among Gentiles, whither I will drive them. So he's having Ezekiel eat food like this, so he can show what we'll be eating in this time. No, we are here under Esau's rule, eating stuff like this because it's stuff they put in food. That's how we're eating. We eat defiled bread. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24, and it reads, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covers the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So again, going back to what we just said, now that we are living under the wicked's rule, they put the stuff in our food to, one, make us sick so they can have profit when we go to the doctors, and two, to try to push us further away from the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's go to Michael. Okay. This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10, and it reads, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, and shall destroy you even with a sore destruction. So this is not where we're supposed to be. This is not our rest. This is not the people, the bugged out jakes that say, oh, it's cool here. I like, living in Babylon and great. I got my 401ks and I got 5 businesses. I'm cool. They're bugged out and they're in a rude awakening. This is not our rest. The food isn't right. The way of living isn't right. Everything is wicked around here. Is not where we're supposed to be. Let's go to Amos. Let's go to Amos 7 and 17. This is the book of Amos, chapter 7, verse 17, and it reads, therefore thus saith Yahweh, thy wife shall be an harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by line. But thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. Again, going into the fact that this land is polluted. Heavily polluted. Not heavily. Heavily. Very, 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 very polluted. Extremely polluted. But also, I do want to say, because the spirit was to take the script out, but the spirit told me to bring it back out. Because now I want to say this. So now, if you watch this lesson and you feel like, well, man, I'm eating all this nasty stuff, defiled stuff, I just go eat abominations. No, you cannot go eat abominations. Unfortunately, there's some stuff that we can't really control in the food and the other food, but that doesn't mean you could turn around and eat defiled stuff. Just like right here. This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 18. Elijah, one of the principal scribes, and it's like an aged man and well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth to eat swine's flesh. But he, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live staying with such an abomination, spit it forth and came to his own account to the torment. So again, seeing this stuff doesn't make you be like, okay, well, I can just eat anything. No, you cannot. You still gotta, follow the laws. But also, again, going back to that, now understanding that, I don't want you to be like, I'm not going to eat anything, because that's not wise. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 16. It reads, be not righteous overmuch, neither make thyself overwise. Why shouldst thou destroy thyself? Again, so don't be overwise when it comes to this situation right here. Where I'm not going to eat tomatoes no more. I'm not going to eat mushrooms no more, and or eat anything, and eventually starve yourself. But also, be not over much wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldst thou die before thy time? Don't be like, well, I'm already eating all this other stuff, so I can eat everything else, because that's not the case. But Adonai, this lesson was edifying and was able to give you peace. I give all praises and honors to my power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Shalom.